You can use great grammar, impressive vocabulary, and a solid structure in your Task 1 letter and still lose points. Not because your English is bad, but because the tone of your letter is wrong or inconsistent. In general training, writing Task 1, the examiner is not only checking what you write, they're also checking how you sound. Too formal? Problem. Too informal? Problem. So in this video, I'm going to answer 3 questions. How many tones do we have in writing general training task 1? What determines the tone of your letter? And how do you write each tone? My name's Ethan. Grab your IELTS notebook and a pen, and let's learn this. In IELTS writing general training task 1, tone means the way your letter sounds to the reader. It's not just about grammar, it's not just about vocabulary, not just about structure. Tone is really 2 things together: the level of formality and the attitude of the letter. By level of formality, I mean this: are you writing a formal letter, a semi-formal letter, or an informal letter? This one depends on who you're writing to and what kind of relationship you have with that person. Then we have attitude. Does your letter sound polite, neutral, or friendly? For example, if you're writing to a manager, your tone should sound more formal and polite. If you're writing to a neighbor, it may be semi-formal and more neutral. And if you're writing to a friend, it should sound informal and friendly. So when we talk about tone in writing task 1 general training, we mean this: does your letter sound right for that person and that situation? That is what tone means. As I said, there are 3 tone categories: formal, semi-formal, and informal. Informal means you're writing to someone you know very well. Usually this is your friend or a family member. So your language can sound more natural, more relaxed, warmer, and more personal. Semi-formal means you know the person, but not closely. It could be a neighbor, a colleague, or a landlord, someone you already know. So the letter should still be polite, but not too stiff and not too casual either. Formal means you're writing to a person or an organization in a professional or official situation. For example, it's a company, it's a manager, it's a government office, a school, a university, a service provider like your phone company. Here, your tone should be polite and more professional. So here's a summary: informal, friend and family; semi-formal, neighbor, colleague, landlord, someone you know; formal, company, manager, institution, service provider. Now let's see where tone shows up in your letter. As I showed you in my previous general training task 1 lesson, a letter has salutation, an opening line, body with usually 3 paragraphs, a closing line, and a sign off. In general training task 1, tone shows up in 5 main places. First, the salutation. For example, dear sir or madam is formal because you do not know the person's name. And this is a standard formal salutation. Dear Mr. Wilson is semi-formal because you know who the person is, but you are keeping distance and respect by using title plus surname. Hi Alex is informal because hi and the first name sound friendly and relaxed. Second, the opening line. I'm writing to express my concern about the service I received. This sentence certainly sounds formal because of the phrase I'm writing to express and the word concern. And also you can see that the person has received a service, so it's a service provider. I hope you're well. I'm writing to ask about the meeting next week. This one sounds semi-formal because it is polite and warm, but still controlled and respectful. And just a quick note to tell you about my new job. This one is informal because, just a quick note, sounds casual, natural, and personal, of course. Third, tone shows up in the body of the letter. This includes your requests, your apologies, your offers. I would be grateful if you could send me the details as soon as possible. This one sounds very formal to me because I would be grateful if you could is a very polite request that is used in formal settings. Could you please let me know if this would be possible? This one sounds semi-formal, I'd say, because it's polite and less formal. Could you? Can you send me the details when you have time? This one is certainly informal because it is more direct, it's simple and conversational. Next, tone shows up in the closing line of your letter. I look forward to hearing from you. This one is formal because it sounds polite, careful, and very professional. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope to hear from you soon. This one is semi-formal because it's still respectful, but it's a little bit warmer and less stiff. See you soon is informal because it sounds relaxed, personal, and friendly. See you. And finally, tone shows up in the complimentary close. Yours faithfully is the standard formal closing when you begin with dear sir or madam. So remember this, dear sir or madam, yours faithfully. They always go together. Kind regards is semi-formal, I'd say. Best or take care are certainly informal. They sound very personal and friendly. Now let's read a few task 1 questions together and see what the tone of each letter should be. By the way, I'm planning to make another video and give you some very useful vocabulary items like phrases, collocations, and different things to use in your task 1 general training letter. So don't forget to go watch that video. Here's the first one. You read a travel magazine article about your town, but some of the information in the article was not accurate. Write a letter to the editor of your magazine. In your letter, point out the incorrect information. Explain why accuracy is important. In this case, suggest what the magazine should do next. So what tone should this letter have? You're writing to a magazine editor, and your letter should be formal. Next question. A friend of yours wants to try camping for the first time during the summer and has asked for your opinion. Write a letter to your friend. In your letter, explain why a camping trip might be enjoyable. Mention some possible drawbacks of camping. Say whether you would like to join your friend on this trip. What tone? You're writing to a friend of yours, so the tone is informal. Next one. You have recently moved into a new home and are planning to have a small celebration. You're worried that the noise may bother the person living next door. Write a letter to your neighbor. In your letter, introduce yourself, explain your plans for the gathering, invite your neighbor to attend. This letter should have a semi-formal tone. Why? Because it's written to a neighbor. All right, let's recap. In general training task 1, tone means the way your letter sounds to the reader. And tone is really about 2 things, formality and attitude. So in your writing task 1, after you've read the task, you ask yourself, is this letter formal, semi-formal, or informal? Then you ask, should I sound polite, neutral, or warm and friendly? And remember, your tone is not decided by the topic. It's decided by who the reader of the letter is and your relationship with that reader. A friend, informal and warm. Someone you know, semi-formal and neutral. And if you're writing to a company or a manager, formal and polite. If you find any value in this lesson, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want more help with general training writing task 1 or any other parts of IELTS, have a look at my other videos. Write in the comments what kind of IELTS you're planning to take and which parts you find challenging, so I make my future videos about them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another lesson.